When I was in primary 5, that was when I realized I had an eye defect. And that wasn't my discovery, that was my teacher in the class, because he was writing in the blackboard, on the blackboard, and I was busy copying from my friend, and it was supposed to be a test. I was copying the question, not the answer though. And she saw me and she beat me. She didn't even check. Not for her to check again and realize that I was still doing the same thing. Only for her to go through my paper and realize it was just a question. She pointed what was on the board. I couldn't see properly what was there. For me, it was like Chinese writing, and if I'm to write what was on the board, it's like I'm drawing the whole thing. So that made me kind of learn the art of drawings with lines and all, unknowingly, unconsciously.
There are so many people striving to be different in Nigeria. They are constantly looking for things that set them apart. On this note, we discovered Edward Samuel, a talented, fine and applied artist whose works are simply incredible. In this episode of Faces of Nigeria on legit.ng, you'll be finding out more about this mosaic artist. I'm Temitope Kukola.
I'm Edward Samuel. I'm from Delta State. It's a local government. The second in the family of 6. My papa born plenty, so I'm the second though. I went to Police Children's School, my primary education. Then after which I went to Ikeja High School at Ikeja. Then I studied arts in Federal College of Education, Technical, Koka. I've been a painter for a while. I graduated the best art student in Federal College of Education. I was the best painter, the best graphic student, the best illustrator, the best live drawing, still life. I wanted to even specialize in sculpture, but I just felt let me still go into my heart. I've been doing paintings for a while, but I wanted to get an edge. I wanted to get something that is a bit different from what every other artist have been into. Your expression has been with paintings on canvas, oil on canvas, acrylic, watercolor. I've done virtually all those, but I wasn't satisfied. I wanted something that would make me feel, oh, without a signature, that is Edward Samuels. So I just came up with this. Though it took me a while, I was afraid at first to come out with it. Oh, would they accept it? Would they want it? It's going to look so off the market. At a point, I was trying to even push it in, but it's like being rejected several times. But I still keep pushing, and I know with time they are going to accept this method of mine. I didn't go for art because I wanted to study art. I wanted to study international relations at a point. When I was growing up, I said I wanted to be a pilot. But when I was in primary 5, that was when I realized I had an eye defect. And that wasn't my discovery, that was my teacher in the class, because he was writing in the blackboard, on the blackboard, and I was busy copying from my friend, and it was supposed to be a test. I was copying the question, not the answer though, and she saw me and she beat me. She didn't even check. Not for her to check again and realize that I was still doing the same thing. Only for her to go through my paper and realize it was just a question. She pointed what was on the board. I couldn't see properly what was there. For me, it was like Chinese writing, and if I'm to write what was on the board, it's like I'm drawing the whole thing. So that made me kind of learn the art of drawings with lines and all, unknowingly, unconsciously. The first thing was Mr. Kinwale in in Ikeja High School. He, he asked me a question in school then, my government teacher, and I told him I have no idea basically. After series of other students also filled the same question, but mine was like I had no idea. He beat me terribly for that and told me to go and call my parents if they will come, and he will tell them that I told him I had no idea for a question even if I don't know the answer. When I got commissioned for my first mosaic work, I was asked if I know how to do this thing. I looked at it like, did they roll the straight line on the wall then start placing these tiles one by one? Million questions came into my head, but again I couldn't tell him I have no idea. I told him, oh yeah, sure I can. Not until after he paid me, then I realized, oh really, I don't have an idea. But again, that has always been one thing for me. Nothing is so difficult to do or undo, but you may not have the best idea, you may not have the best approach, you may not know everything about something, but just know a little. So basically, yeah, I do a little bit of this, that, and put things together. Yeah, I still do a little bit of interior, which is like art interior, though not just art and interior. I do fountain, and the fountain came as a report or as a product of this, because most times when you do a swimming pool or a fountain, they want to have an embellished interior with the tiles instead of the regular tiles. So I step up into that aspect also. Instead of doing the finishing, I also went into the construction and I learned it from someone. Basically, what I do virtually in Nigeria, I had one or two models, role models. One, I did my IT with Mr. Oluwajayi. Is to date we still talk. We still, most times when I get to work, I have to take a picture and send to him like, sir, what do you think? Is there anything I need to adjust? Is there anything I need to put here and there? And when I was in school, I was really inspired by one famous painter, Mr. Edosa Ogego. Though he's not into this, but just a normal painter with oil, and his strokes are awesome. When I started this, which was last year, my first was backstroke, a work titled backstroke, and I was more into women, not because I have something big with the women though, but I wanted to create something related to a team. I was working on a series for just basically women. I was planning to see if I can get a solo show done tied to my ex, but it wasn't working because of space, and there is a lot of characters that you can get from women. There's a lot of attitude, there's a lot of beauty, there's a lot of posture and inspirations and all. The forms you see, the colors you with your makeup and with your attires, men barely have time to put up all those things. So yeah, you get to see more into the life of a woman, the character they play, the role they play, trying to just push it in a way. Yeah, that's just it for me.